distractions from our vision, because God leaves space in our vision for faith and belief. But he doesn't bless you where you pretend to be. He can only bless you where you're at.
Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started.
Hello. I love seeing all these beautiful faces. Can you believe that the first of 2023 is coming just like so soon, so soon? I'm so excited. I just can't wait. If you can, I would love for you to turn on your camera so we can all like connect and be in community with each other. I love this time of year. Like, it's not that it's gonna just like magically make everything happen for you, but there is this amazing like collective energy of possibility. I'm loving that word right now. Corey and I were chatting about that earlier, of possibility, curiosity, hope, desire, belief, and action taking. And it's really like a time to reflect and reset, and then fiercely step into what you really desire for the new year. So I think my word for the year is really fierce. Because fierce to me is boldly claiming and going for what you want, whether that be fierce faith, fierce adventure, fierce curiosity, fierce abundance, fierce relationships, whatever that might be. It's like claiming it for yourself and going for it like no matter what. So I always like to pick a theme or like an intention for the year. In 2020, I want to take a little bit of time. By the way, you were emailed a worksheet and a workbook for this a little bit earlier. So if you can have that, if you don't have that, if you just have a notebook, a pen, a pencil, something to write with, because we are going to be individually doing a little bit of work as well. And to start off, we have a few new faces. So why don't you pop in the chat box where you are zooming in from today. So cheers, I made myself a matcha. I am zooming in from Miami Beach, where it is sunny again. It was cold in like 45. I didn't know what to do with myself for a few days. Yay, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Montana, Arizona, Idaho, Oregon. So many wonderful, beautiful places. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as we go, I will leave time for Q&A at the end, but you can pop questions in the chat box, because I really do want this to definitely be interactive as well. That's how you get the most out of it. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of courage to be the one to speak up, to ask the question. But if you have the question, guess what? Probably every single other woman that's here has the question as well. So go ahead and ask it. And having that little bit of courage, taking that step out, asking the question, being the one to do that and show up, even if you're like uncertain, like that's going to build just a little bit of momentum and confidence for you inside as well. So when I think about 2022, I think about like some things really worked well and some things didn't work, both personally and in my business. Some things were messy and I did them anyway, because I'm just all about taking action and not perfect action, right? Because perfection is actually fear that really holds us back and keeps us stuck and keeps us playing small. And you know what? Some things really turned out different than I had planned or expected, but even more beautiful and wonderful. And it was those things that turned out differently, but even better than I had ever imagined or dreamed or hoped, that came with the most ease and the most flow and the most peace. And so I sat for a while and I thought about like, what was the formula that I used in order to achieve these things, in order to launch a holistic life coaching certification, in order to host my first international retreat in Tulum, kind of just like on my own without really ever having to do that before, and getting the most amazing results, seeing the most amazing growth and transformation in the clients that I worked with, and so much synergy throughout the relationships that I was building with my clients, without even soliciting myself, getting paid speaking engagements because of how I was showing up and showing up authentically. And so I really broke that down for you. And so the steps, and we're definitely going to go through all of them so you can see how it's going to work in your life, and you can actually bring your dreams and your goals to fruition in 2023 with ease and with flow and having internal peace as well. And they're just basically vision, belief, and inspired action taking. And you rinse and repeat it over and over and over. And I'm going to break down steps within the steps for you, but we're going to do a little activity first. And I know some of you might be on your phone, so you may not be able to, well, you could do this activity because I just won't see it for a minute. I do want to apologize in advance. So whoever is on this right now and knows exactly how to play music during a Zoom call, because they changed it like maybe 6 months ago, and I've never actually figured out how to do it. So anyway, whoever knows how to do that, please email me after this, because I'm asking for help now, because I could Google it and I thought I did and I did it wrong. And so that's where we're at with that. So anyway, what we are going to do is we are going to do a review of our 2022. So what are the things that we are ready to celebrate? What went so magically and so beautifully in 2022? Because what we're doing by doing this is we are cultivating a feeling that we want to have of joy and excitement and expectation of what's to come that's going to be similar. Because we always want to be cultivating that energy within us, because the universe responds to that energy. The universe doesn't respond to the energy of scarcity and lack and fear and self-doubt. If you're always coming with that energy, it's going to reflect the same back to you. And so you're not going to be able to manifest things with ease, with flow, with peace. But if you're coming to it with an energy of appreciation, of gratitude, of excitement, of curiosity, of possibility, of fiercely claiming and knowing what you want, then the universe is going to respond to that for you. It's called the law of attraction. It's part of manifestation. And really, manifestation is just all about creating this vision for your future, embodying it in your body, feeling what that would be like, putting a vision in your head, and then putting your energy and attention behind it to make it become reality. And each and every day you're creating this feeling and this vision that you want, and then you're taking the inspired action, having the thoughts and the emotions and the steps each and every day to get there. Even if it's way up here, maybe your action is one small step, but it gets you one small step closer. Because a series of small steps each and every day that are good steps lead to a huge, great life. But most people start taking the small steps and they don't get the huge, great life right away, so they give up. It's not for me. I'm not getting it soon enough. They look at other people and think that they just started. Most people that you see having success have been doing whatever they're doing for so many years, but we don't see that part. So what I want you to do is get out your phone, and I'm going to tell you, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, good luck, you're on your own. Or maybe someone can pop in the chat box. But what I want you to do is I want you to pull it up, and then I want you to go down to the bottom where it says years, months, days. And so then I want you to go to years, and then I want you to scroll to 2022, and I want you to start in January. And I just want you to look at some of the pictures. I'm going to give you about like 3 minutes. So take just a little bit of time to go through the pictures on your phone. Pictures mean that we are being like fully present, because we're taking a picture, we're in the moment. And so there's such a great way to just jot down what went well this year and what do I want to celebrate. When I did this, there's so many things that you can write down. It's not just like physical items, but it could be things like one of my biggest things was I started asking for help and started asking for help and asking for help again. And then the caveat to that was when I asked for help, I released my expectation on how the person was going to show up to help me. and then let them help me in their own time and space. And that's been really rewarding for me. So go ahead. I'm going to give you about maybe 4 to 5 minutes to just really answer these questions, and I'll pop them in the chat box. So what went well this year that I'm ready to celebrate? And when did I feel most alive? We want to know that. We want to know when we were cultivating those really good feelings that we want to be putting out every day to the universe. Okay, Kristen told me how to. Yep, that share sound button is just not there though. Let's see. Okay, I should put myself on mute so you guys aren't hearing me talk to myself about the sound. Oh, but if you have questions about what I just assigned you to do, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, so let's go ahead and come back together. How fun is this activity? So I want to encourage you to, this was something that I didn't put in your workbook, so make sure to write this down, is to make a joy list, things that bring you joy. They could be really simple things, but this could be one of them. Maybe you're you know what, I'm going to go back to 2020, where we all have this thought, or society perpetuates, that the pandemic was not a gift for us, that it was all negative. but we could go back and we could revisit some of those weird things that like we did at home, and some of those connections that we made to the people that were closest to us, and some of the hobbies that we picked up on again that brought us joy. But make like a joy list of things that bring you joy. So when I did this picture challenge, and I want everybody to pop in the chat box like one of the things that you're ready to celebrate 2022 for. Like, what do you want to celebrate, and when did you feel most alive? So pop something in the chat box. Everybody do it. Don't be the wallflower. Put something in there. Everybody can put one thing in there. But when I did this, some of the things that I looked back on, so in January, Joel and I visited Tulum for the first time to visit for the upcoming retreat that I was holding later in the year. And we kept having these things happen to us where like the scooter got a flat tire and then we got it fixed, and then we went to a cenote and then like the throttle broke, and so we had to take a cab back. And then it was like, okay God, we hear you. We're just meant to like stay at the resort and like be with each other. We had such a great connection. We had like the best sex that we've ever had. But you kind of like forget about that sometimes when you're just like going through every day. And that was such a great like a great memory. Other things I saw was like, oh, I started reading fiction novels again, and those bring me joy. Those are on my joy list now, but they have to be ones where they're like beach read. Like, I don't want anything freaking hard. Like, I just want to like enjoy the book. Made a new deeper friendship in Miami. That brought me joy. So let's see what you guys are talking about, like, and things that you're ready to celebrate. Let's see. And thank you for all the help with the Zoom thing. I still can't figure out how to do it without sharing my screen too. So I'm going to figure that out. But I don't really care that you guys can see my playlist. If you want the playlist, let me know. I'll share it with you. Okay, so travel. Swimming for exercise, new experiences, got in the room at my first personal development event. Oh my gosh, in-person events are really like the catalyst to like absolutely everything. 30-minute nature walks, I love that. Filed an LLC application and trademark. Ooh, we're going big, right? When we have an office and we file the application for the trademark, we know like things are going good. Went to New Jersey, met some of my husband's family, quality family time, found my tribe, invested in community, wore the bikini. Oh, so cool. Reading, workout after spinal surgery, celebrating diving more into being my authentic self, starting to learn to train dogs and built new friendships. I love that. Spent a lot of time traveling with grandson, time in pool, exercise, hikes. Left my 6-figure job to pursue my passion in health and wellness. Wow, look at all of this, right? So just think of like that collective energy. Like how amazing is that? So now the next question I want you to sit with and just ask yourself is, what are you ready to let go of to create space for something new? And just see like what might come up for you, the first thing that comes to mind. Because here's the thing is, oftentimes we know the answer, but we bypass it or we start overthinking it. So one of the things that I uncovered I really needed to start letting go of was the idea that I have to be on social media for my business. Like me physically, my person, I need to be on social media a lot during the day for my business. And now, is it true that I want, in order to have a successful business, I think social media is a good part of it and it's a way to connect with people? Yes, I do. But do I have to be the one actually doing that work? And something I've come to find out is me just being on social media once a day to be able to talk to people that want to talk to me and engage with people that I want to engage with. And then having my team help me with my social media posts and all of that really gives me back more peace, more time, less distraction, less subconscious comparison, because I feel like there's always some sort of comparison when we hop on social media. And that was one thing that I had to let go of, like the control of it, right? Well, I want to make sure that they're doing it in my voice and all of these things, right? And it's just been so beautiful to let that go. Let's see, what are we ready to let go of? Letting go of being a yes person. Yeah, so being a people pleaser, because people pleasing, procrastination, perfectionism, all of that is not coming from a place of love. That's all coming from a place of fear in our subconscious. For whatever reason, it can feel that we're pushing into uncertainty or being quote unquote unsafe for some reason. So our subconscious is going to try to do whatever it can to keep us in that safe, comfortable state. And we all know when we're in a comfortable state that there is absolutely zero growth that happens there. Letting go of playing on the sidelines of my own life, letting go of self-doubt, generalized fear. Yeah, letting go of the need to work from 9 to 5. Yeah, all of these are huge because these are all beliefs that we've held on to, right? So beliefs are the ultimate catalyst for change because you have 3 options with a belief. And we talk about this all the time in Flow Academy, which is my holistic life coaching certification. But a belief you can hold, you can challenge, or you can change. And our beliefs do and should change over time because we're always becoming that next version of ourselves. So now I want you to think about, what was a recent goal or an intention or a dream that you just haven't quite met yet? And every time we talk about something that we have not done yet, or maybe we might have labeled as a failure, I want you to reposition that just as a learning opportunity, right? So what was something that you wanted to achieve this year that maybe you didn't? So for me, I started out the year really strong with writing. My goal was to write 10 stories to write my first book. And I set time aside and I was doing it. And then I let my subconscious brain kick in because I've also had this idea of doing a journal. So I completely let go of the idea of doing the book. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do the journal. Now the journal was easy for me because I already had the frame, it was basically already done in my head. It shouldn't have even been like a dream at all, right? It was like a checklist item because it was something that I knew that I could do. So I did the journal first. I allowed it to be a distraction for me. And then when I got done with the journal, I didn't go back to doing and writing my stories for my book. And so I was being in more of a reactive. I wasn't planful. I didn't go back to the thing that I said that I was going to do at the beginning of the year. And I was allowing things to distract me. And so not being intentional and not being fully present, then I just kind of let that go by the wayside until recently someone said, I want to write a book too. And I said, hey, why don't we do this once a week? We'll get on Zoom and we'll write together. We don't really need to talk, but we'll just write and we'll be accountability partners for each other. So thinking about, let's see, working out were some things, creating a journal, being debt-free, focus on work goals. I hope to be leading a team of 10 this year. So now I want you to think about this goal that you had. What kept you from meeting that goal? So for me, when I think about what kept me from writing that book, on the surface level, it was like I was distracting myself, right? Oh, I did the journal instead. And then it proceeded to be into having all these other things that I was working on and being busy with. But what it really is probably fear, right? Fear that someone's going to read my book, and what if it's not good enough? So what kept you from your goal? Own distractions, me not doing the needed work, fear of rejection, not using my time wisely, discipline and it not being a priority. All of these things are so true. Yeah. And so when we think about what we want for the upcoming year, we want to think about what are the things that we do need to let go of. So some things that I would need to let go of would be this idea of my book's not going to be good enough. And I need to start filling my mind and my subconscious with a new vision. that the book that I write is going to impact the lives of thousands of other women. And that's why I'm writing it. Because anytime we're comparing or judging ourselves or critiquing ourselves, we can just always remind ourselves that it's not about us, and it's about who we're there to help, whether that be our kids, our significant other, our team members, our clients, whoever it is. It's about them, and that's our opportunity to serve right there. And so what I want to do now is I want to get into this energy and inspiration. So now that we know like what brings us joy, and we know some of the things that are distracting us, I want to get into this energy of creating a vision for 2023. And so I'm just going to lead you through a meditation. And then after the meditation, what I want you to do is you can use your workbook or any other notebook or journal that you have. I just want you to write down a vision for what you see for 2023. And I just really, really want to encourage you to not make it a checklist. Not make it a checklist of things that you know that you can do. This is what I did for a long time that kept me at only being good at things. I could never get to great. I could never get to the next level because I would only say yes to things that I knew that I could do. Oh, I know that I can lose 10 pounds. Oh, I know that I can get this many new clients. Oh, I know that I can, it's already in the works to like launch this program, but what does that big vision look like? When I started writing things down, like I wake up more days than not next to the beach. And I was like, whoa, like, what does that mean? I don't even know, but that feels really good. That feels like in my body, like it feels so good. And I kept writing it and kept saying it. And then a few years later, we moved to Miami Beach. Never once in my life did I think I was going to live here, even envisioned it. But when you put it out there and you create that energy and that joy and you write it down and you believe it, you create the vision and believe it and start taking action towards it, then you make it happen. So let's go ahead. Okay, let me try this music thing again. I don't know about not sharing my screen, but you know, that's where we're at right now. Oh. Thank you for your patience with me on this here. So what I will have you do is get your workbook and your pen or your journal next to you and just do a light close of your eyes and just start noticing your breath. And we call in the guidance of the highest truth and compassion to enter our space now. We invite this guidance and this energy to work through us and inspire us. We welcome the guidance, inspiration, and love. Breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. This meditation is dedicated to holding a vision of a new way of living, to seeing yourself and perceiving yourself in a totally different light. Take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth, rolling your shoulders back, sitting in straight alignment, dropping your chin just slightly, relaxing your jaw, and releasing any tension in your body, becoming ready to receive. Take a moment as you breathe in to tap into the energy and the feeling behind for what you long for, what you want to bring into your life, the feeling of freedom, the feeling of joy, the feeling of confidence and abundance, the feeling of health. See yourself free of worry, free of doubt, free yourself free of pain. See yourself with that cash in the bank, that team behind you, the clients in front of you, your family near you. Enjoy all around. Place your palms facing upward. Feel the joy of what you want to create in this life. Breathing in deeply, exhaling completely. Now envision yourself waking up in the morning, taking the time to take care of yourself, doing your rituals, dressing as your highest self, showing up in the world with your unique radiance that can never be duplicated. Envision your environment, the people around you, the deep, meaningful conversations you have, and the feeling of clarity and confidence and faith and freedom. Envision that now. Feel the feeling. Feel the health in your body. Feel the abundance in your being. Feel joy manifesting. Continuing your vision, breathing in deeply, exhaling completely. Feel the feeling of magic and the beauty of the things that you're ready to create in your life. Be unapologetic about what you desire. Trust that the universe is an ever-present flow of energy and love that is within you and around you, guiding you, moving through you, opening invisible doors so you can have and see a vision that you are ready to create. It is yours. You have asked and you will receive. Claim this now. Accept this now. Taking another deep breath in, holding it, feeling that feeling, holding it, and exhale, sharing it with everybody on our call today. Taking another deep breath in, feeling it, and on the exhale, see it like a boomerang pouring back into your heart, filling you with joy, gratitude, faith, belief, ease, and peace. Take one last deep breath in and release. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes to the room and pick up your pen and just write out the vision that you envisioned. No judgment, no right or wrong, no corrections, just let it flow. And I'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes. Give you about 20 more seconds, and just know that this is always something that you can come back to, and you should be writing out your vision all the time. Okay, so what is something, if anything, that you would want to share that might have surprised you, that came up, that was interesting, or something that you're just really excited about going into 2023? Go ahead and pop that in the chat box. One of the last times I did a visualization like this, I had a vision of actually like having these like really highly curated dinner parties where I would actually cook, which is surprising because if you know me, I had one of my previous versions of me, right? Because we're always learning and growing, was I thought I wanted to own a ready-to-eat food company. So I started from the ground up in Oregon, a food company called Authentic Meals. And it was amazing, right? It was like, it was everything that I wanted until it wasn't. And I got really burnt out really fast. And so it made it so like, I didn't really enjoy cooking anymore. And that's always been a passion of mine and something I've been interested in. And so to get that vision of creating these like curated dinner parties to have up-leveled conversation around delicious, nourishing food to show people like that you can eat in a certain way that feels really good and have these fun conversations and like be fancy and like dress up, was something I've never even thought of before. So it was really fun to get that vision and be like, I wonder how I'm going to put this into like fruition. So I just like have it out there, and it's just a vision that I have and something that I want to do. And I'm not sure how that's going to come to fruition, but I know that, you know, God will give me some guidance on that soon. Let's see. Oh, Kim, such great food. I miss it. What came up for you guys? What was something that you were excited about for 2023? Go ahead and pop that in the chat box as I continue to talk. Oh, Jen, yes, I love that. Not rushing. So that is actually something that I think we can all take away, is really thinking about when we have these visions of our life, or like even just something that we want to start incorporating for every day. Like maybe we want to start incorporating a ritual. It's like, okay, what is the foundational aspect that we need to have in place in order to make that happen so that it can make it happen? And I think that I've been setting an intention for, I'd say about like the last like 3 or 4 years. My intention just every day is to never rush, which also means I have to be very intentional and planful and set the right boundaries around my schedule, because I really think that there's like this quiet power in an unrushed woman that's not in like that frantic manifesting stage or that go, 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 busy, busy, busy. That's like in this ease state of like being peaceful. And when you slow down and you're not in that rush state, you're living your life fully present. And when you're fully present, which basically means is your focus and your attention, you're using as many of your 5 senses as you can in the moment, and you're not thinking about the future and you're not thinking about the past, you're fully present to experience it all. Like that's when things manifest quickly. That's when things like happen quickly. And it's all on that one foundational thing of not being rushed. So it's really interesting how, when we're visioning and planning, if we have these goals, these dreams that we're going to work towards, if we miss the foundational piece of what is the thing, that intention, that foundation that I need to have built, because we're all out here like building the most beautiful gardens, right? But if we don't have the right soil first, the right foundation, it's not going to come to fruition how we want to see it. So I want to read what some of you are putting in the chat box here really quick, and then we're gonna dive more into those steps that I talked about: the vision, belief, and inspired action. Oh my gosh. Okay. All of these are like so exciting. Rebuild myself, my mind, body, spirit. Authentic, unapologetic, fully aligned clients. Beach with my time with my grandson, selling our business. Ooh, exciting. Becoming more intimate with my partner. That's a juicy one. Joel and I have been working on that this year, and it has been amazing. See myself losing weight, becoming our most confident, highest self. Building a wellness retreat. To build, nourish, and love on other women. I love that. I love that for you, Corey. Body love boxes, spiritually connected. I like that. Being healthy, spending more time, spiritual, financial stability. Homestead, yes. I love when you share on Instagram about that, Jolene. Yeah, working through some trauma that we've had. So I love that you shared that, Kate, because sometimes we just have like old baggage that we need to work through, and everybody has it, right? Our parents did the best they could with what they had, and then here we are. And so there is some old trauma that we are all going to have to work through. Finding joy in everyday activities, move to home with land. Yes, I love that. I think a lot of us have that in common here, Sarah. Being grateful, feeling weightless instead of feeling heavy, creating a foundation of health. So health is really an overarching theme for a lot of us here. So step one in the process, and if you have your workbook, let's see. I will share it with you here. So what we have is something that looks like this. So our first step is really to create a vision, because what happens most often is we'll set some goals, but we don't have a vision for our life. And oftentimes the goals that we're setting are not necessarily matching up, but they're goals based on society standards, what somebody else is doing, what we think we should be doing. And so we don't have the clarity that we need of the life that we want to design that's true to us. And so often we're living a life out of design based on someone else. And so without the vision, it's really, really hard to get to the next steps. So in your workbook, while we're not going to do it today, but I want you to do it today, we're not going to do it together. There's a page that actually says, what do I want? This is the most loaded question. When I work with my coaching clients, I ask them this question, and it can be really challenging to answer this. So when you go through this, for example, health, just reading some of the comments, if we say, I just want to be overall healthy, that's not very specific at all. Like, what do I really want? Why do I want to be healthy? If I were to answer that, I would answer that in something that I'm really doing this year is I've actually hired a coach in the realm of health, which yes, I do that for people. But for me, I want to achieve new levels of health. And so my why and what I want is I want to have the most optimize health that I could ever have so I can keep up with the divine assignment and the calling that's on my life that's really big. Because I know that if I continue in operating at just good health and not amazing, great health, that I'm not going to be able to keep up with that. And that's what I want, because I want to be able to make the impact that I want to make in the world. And I can't do that if I'm not taking care of myself. And maybe your why is like being able to, for the next 18 years, play all out with your grandkids. That like builds a bigger vision for you. Do you see where I'm going with this? That like there's your answer and then there's what's underneath it. And you need to get to that what's underneath it, or else it's not going to be a big enough why. And then you're going to be like the rest of the 85% of people that give up on their new goals and dreams that they have for the new year by the beginning of February. And I don't want that for any of you. And we don't want that at all, because all of us are fiercely claiming what we want right now. So this page, envisioning what you want in all areas of your life, that doesn't mean that you're going to every single day like hit some task or goal on all of these. Maybe you're tackling one of them, and then maybe because you've done such a great job tackling that first one, the first quarter, then maybe in like June, then you're tackling something else, right? It's taking steps every day. The small steps build to a miraculous life with abundant blessings, right? That come easily. So what do you want is so important. So the second part of visioning is decluttering, both physically and in your mind. You have to make time to do this. Every year I make time to donate clothes, to get rid of things that I've held on to. And it's always asking, like, have I even used this thing? Am I saving it to fix it? Am I saving it because I might need it someday? Guess what? You can probably buy another one. Why don't you donate that to someone that would actually use it right now? Because it's just cluttering and taking up physical space. And the clutter in your physical space correlates to the chaos that's in your mind. So decluttering is so, so important. So as we move on to the second part, and I'm going to stop screen sharing because I think that you all get a picture of that, and you have it in your workbook too. This is the part that most people skip over: belief. So we create the vision, we set the plan, we have the dreams, and then we start taking action. So how many people have started taking action, and then for whatever reason, they've pulled themselves out of the game? I know I've done it like a bazillion trillion times in my life. Because what happens is the universe is responding to your mixed signals. I want it, but oh, fear, doubt, insecurity is really like the energy that I'm giving off. Like I was talking about, like you're going to get back what you receive, what you're putting out there, that's what you're going to receive back. And so if you don't fully believe that you can have it, that you're worthy of it, then you're just always going to be starting over again. You're never going to quite get there. And so remember how I was saying, like, we're all like making our own beautiful garden. And so we have the foundation, right? So we have the vision. We're really clear on what we want, but now we're wavering. We need to start pulling weeds, because the weeds are going to be what's taking away from our beautiful garden coming to fruition, right? And if we don't pull the weeds, or if we don't pull those limiting beliefs and those fears and start putting some, like natural weed killer, because nobody uses Roundup anymore, right? We don't want glyphosate. Then like they're just going to take over. And we're going to have to till the whole garden, and we're going to have to start over again. And that's challenging. So when I think about the 4 areas that you want to look at for pulling your weeds: your thoughts, the people in your life, the expectations that you have, and your perceived failures. So thoughts, people in your life, expectations you have, and perceived failures, all of which are oftentimes turned into distractions for us. Distractions from our vision, because God leaves space in our vision for faith and belief. But he doesn't bless you where you pretend to be. He can only bless you where you're at. You can't be blessed where you pretend to be. He can only bless you where you're at. So if you have a repetitive thought that's on repeat and you're not working to reframe that on a daily basis, that's going to be really hard. If you have that person in your life that is always pulling you down, or that you're not setting the right boundaries with, or that you're overextending yourself and people pleasing, and you're not doing anything about it, those weeds are going to keep growing. If you keep having really high expectations for other people, guess what? Expectations are the thief of all joy. The only thing that we should expect is that God is going to bless us based on where we're at, if we're obedient to the vision and the guidance that he's given us, right? That's the only expectation that we should have. But having expectations for other people to do things a certain way, what normally happens when you expect someone to show up or do something a certain way? You get fucking let down. And then when you get let down, then it triggers an emotional response in your body, which only lasts 90 seconds. But then what happens is, because we have that emotional response, we're so patterned with our thinking, instead of sitting with it for 90 seconds and allowing it to pass through and responding, we react based on our old thought patterns. So thoughts, people, expectations, and our perceived failures, because there really is no failure. It's only learning. It's doing or learning, doing or learning. And I was talking to someone the other day about this, because, some of the feedback that I get around the information that I post is like, well, why don't you post more about like your struggles? And why don't you post more about like your challenges that you're going through? And like, you should be more relatable. And up until the other day, like, it was this idea of like being the Pollyanna. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Always positive, right? But what happened in that story is she was always positive, and look at the huge impact that she made the people around her. And if it's my intention every day to show up and authentically show up in my light and shine the brightest that I can, so that everyone around me can feel illuminated and shine in their own light, why do I not want to do that? Am I saying that everything's always perfect and there are no challenges? No. But because I've done so much work on my thoughts, my people, my expectations, and reframing perceived failures as only as lessons, like, I don't have as many reoccurring negative thoughts. I'm able to take a situation that used to trigger me and recognize that I'm allowing myself to get triggered, and in about 30 seconds, change it and come back to inner peace. And so if people want to say that like I'm a Pollyanna, great. It was actually in the book, A Return to Love. She was talking about this. That's where it was. And I was like, I do that. And so am I ashamed to say that I share about like my life feeling good? No. My life being joyful, that I live in a bliss bubble, that mine and Joel's relationship has, even better than it's ever been, that the income that I'm making in my business is even more than it's ever been. No, because you can have that too, and I want that for you too. And if I'm not showing up and saying that you can have it, you're not going to be expanded enough to know that you can have it. Because if we're just around people all the time that are not doing things with their lives that we want to be doing, it's going to be really hard for us to get to the next level. So you got to pull the weeds. And that's not saying just like get rid of everybody in your life, but you want to have the right circles in your life that are expanders for you. Other areas to get rid of your weeds, or ways to get rid of your weeds, is journaling. So you can journal through it. You can write letters. Maybe you really need to write a letter to someone about something that happened and then offer them forgiveness, and you don't even give it to them. Maybe that letter is to yourself. Maybe you write a big, huge thing that you post up and you thank yourself for all the things and trials and tribulations and things that you've been through throughout your life. And then you can look at it every single day. Because the thing is, we should be in thankful appreciation and gratitude for those versions of ourselves that we were before. Because that's love and appreciation. But what happens often is that we are in criticism and fear around who we used to be. And so we can't move to the next level because we're not forgiving ourselves. And there's really nothing to forgive, right? That part of us was needed to get to where we're at today. But in order to get to the next level, you want to confront those old parts that are not going with you to that next vision. But you want to do it lovingly, with love and with gratitude. Like, I thank myself that I used to just like work myself to death, basically. Just like so much work, thinking about work all the time. It was a coping mechanism for me to not to have to feel, but it also provided me with a lot of different opportunities to learn and to grow and to get to where I'm at today. But that part of me that needs to be busy and overwork is no longer needed in where I'm going today. But if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be here. So first step, vision. Second step is belief that you can have it. You want to pull through those weeds, and then you need to start being in curiosity and collecting evidence and being a witness when things are going really well in your life. You know, something Jen and I talk about all the time is looking for just the treasures in the everyday life, because oftentimes we're looking for all the shit that's going wrong. But what if every day we are looking for like the magic and the miracles, and then we are writing about them every day at the end of the day? Because remember, the energy that we're putting out is what we're going to get back. And we want to go through our life without white knuckling everything to reach our goals. We want to do it with peace and ease. And so if we're in the energy of curiosity and collecting evidence every day that things are working out for us, that we're supported and that we're guided, we're going to get there even faster. And we do that lovingly by being a witness instead of a judge. The last part of the belief part is really creating a plan that supports your belief and going all in on it. So one of the separate worksheets that I sent you, it was like a pink worksheet. And one of the things that I love about it is the second page is like, it's a quarterly calendar and you can see the whole entire year. And on the side, you can write out what you're doing. And this is a way to plan your year based on your deepest priorities and your vision, because we spend too much fucking time worrying about other people's lives and what other people are doing and less time looking at our own lives. So what if 2023, we fiercely protected our own vision in our own life and we went after what we wanted every single day and what was important to us? How would that change things for you? And so you want to plan. Then the last step is taking daily inspired action towards your big vision, and then celebrating when you do it, celebrating when you take that step. So like I had shared, I had that big vision for like a book and I started off so strong. I think I wrote like 6 stories. And then I allowed my fear to come in, right? I wasn't being self-aware enough. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this thing I'm going to be good at instead of this other thing that I could be great at because this is easier and this isn't fearful for me and this is my comfort zone, which the journal's great and wonderful and I do not want to put it down. But now that I'm back to writing in the book again, I could be giving myself a lot of pressure. Okay, I need to write every day and I need to write every single morning for 2 hours and this is how it's going to look like and this is when I'm going to have it done. And then am I going to self-publish or am I going to pitch publishers and am I going to do all these things? And I could have this frantic energy. That's frantic manifesting. Or I could be like, okay, I'm going to get back in the swing of things and I'm going to write for 1 hour with Crystal on Thursdays at 12:30. and I'm just going to see where it goes. And I know that if I get in the energy of writing again, then I'll want to write more naturally, and it'll come to me with ease and clarity and creativity and flow. And so that's my small step to get there. And then I celebrate it once I do it. I even did it today, even though I had to do it by myself, celebrated that I wrote, and then you just repeat it over and over again. But here's the thing that most people forget about, is that we get so busy and wrapped up in external reward that we let go of our intrinsic motivation. So intrinsic motivation is that big vision that you have that creates that feeling inside of your body. When you think back and celebrate those times that you had that give you joy and freedom and ease and love and all the good feelings, like we start getting wrapped up in these extrinsic factors that are validating us, that we're feeling accepted, that we're doing all of this, and we forget about the feeling. So how do you stay in the feeling and the energy and the excitements and the abundance internally of how you want to feel? Is every day you're writing it out. So let's say you have a few things that you want to achieve. You declare it done every day that you write it out. And maybe you only journal every other day. So it's every other day, but you're keeping it so top of mind for you, but you're letting go of the emotional attachment to when and how, but you know that you're consciously taking steps to get there every day. Because guess what? Like one of my other things is speaking this year. Like I already have 2 speaking contracts. So my goal is to have like 4 more speaking contracts so I can get closer to my goal of impacting the lives of 100,000 women, because I'm speaking to larger audiences. And underneath that, something that I'm doing to make sure that I get there is that optimal health goal, like hiring that coach. So do you see how you don't think necessarily those are like combined, but I know that I do this and I show up as my highest and best every single time by radically taking care of my health and achieving really, really optimal health, then I'll be able to get to this speaking goal. But if I don't do this every single day, I'm never going to get there. So those are the types of steps that you want to think about, and like, what am I going to do today to be able to get there? And I've had this quote on my phone like for almost the whole year. And it says, if you want to get significantly better at anything, you have to fall in love with the process of doing it. You have to fall in love with building the identity of someone who does the work rather than merely dreaming about the results that you want. Most people give up too soon. But not us. We're not giving up too soon. We're fiercely going after and claiming what is ours this year and declaring it done every single day over our life, and pulling the weeds and our thoughts and the people and the expectations and the failures and the distractions that no longer serve us, and letting go and confronting those parts of us that we don't need anymore, and stepping into that bigger, higher version of ourselves, that new version of ourselves. We're leaving who we were, loving who we are right now, and looking forward to who we're going to uncover. Because it's not about becoming something, it's about uncovering more and more of who you truly are inside. With that being said,
hey, Carmen.
question. Yes.
Can you say that again real quick, what you just said?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
leaving behind.
Yeah. So leave who you were, love who you are, and look forward to who you will uncover. And like I said, most of the time people say become, but it's really about uncovering what's already there, because we have to get off all these old shitty layers of stories and other people's expectations that we've put on us to be able to uncover like our truest self. So I just have one more thing to share as like a little takeaway, and then we can continue this discussion in the Facebook group, in the Permission Slip Community Facebook group. I definitely want to hear from you. I can do more lives about this. in January if it's really helpful. But what kind of questions do you have? Or I'd love to hear a share on like a big dream that you're going for. Or if you want to get real ballsy, you can ask for help, because here's the thing. In order for your dreams to come to fruition, and if you want them to come quicker, you have to speak them out loud. And then you have to speak them out loud in groups like this that are other empowering women, because guess what? When you speak it out loud, then someone's gonna be like, oh, I can help you with that. Or I can connect you to this person.
I'm ready.
Hi, Jackson.
So I said that I want to sell our business, which was a big thing. So I either want to sell the business, or I want the business to be in a place where my husband and I do not have to actually be there to run it. And that's why I said it, because that's a big thing, but I wanted to speak it out loud. Like, I want to put it out into the room so that it will hopefully transpire. So that's my thing. I want to finish writing my book and see where it goes.
I love all of that. Thank you for Crystal's been being my book writing bestie, by the way, on Thursdays at 12:30. Well, 12:30 my time, because she's over in Oregon. But that's huge, because her and her husband have a really great, successful business. And, you know, oftentimes part of your identity, like in the community and stuff, is wrapped up in the work that you do. So being able to like release that and let that go would be really big. So I think that'd be, especially if you're doing something with someone else, it's like to get with them and get on the same page for the vision. And then like, what are the steps to get there?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Now I just have to inform him.
Yeah, but maybe it is step one is getting that right manager or person, that leader in place that can take place of you guys when you're not there, but also so that it would make it more sellable. Because it's really hard to be sellable if you guys are still the forefront of it. Cool. What else does anybody want to share? And if anybody needs to jump off, I know I said this was only going to be an hour. Corey, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm just going to read what I wrote, because that's how
Yes,
it came out of
please.
my head. So a wellness retreat to build, nourish, and love on each other as women, to bring back our belief of deserving it, of self-care, of knowledge, a place to be held accountable for excuses, and a place to begin working on the stuck of our past, a place to take the first baby step, to get courageous and brave enough to learn new things, a place to fill our cup. Just it's a great envision. Part of it is obviously knowing you for the last couple of years and how much you fill other people's cups. But yeah, that's it.
I love that so much. And I love that you encompassed like everything of like letting go of the old, bringing in the new, and then being able to challenge each other, call each other out on our BS too. Like if we need to, we all need it. We all need a safe space for that, right? I love that. What do you think your first small step to get there would be?
What would be my first small step to get there? It's funny because I already have like this whole, it's come to me. So it just kind of came to me and it was so fast. It was so fast. So my first step was just writing it all down, and I'm doing that. I'm not done. I'm doing that.
Awesome.
You know, what would it feel like? What would I want? What would it be a short, you know, a weekend, a day? What would it look like? So that's the first step. What would it look like? What is my brain telling me? I can see it already. I can see like the space already, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first step.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you. I am so excited to talk to you more about that and see how I can help you with that too. So Cassie's on the call, but I don't know if she can turn her camera on or her sound, but she came back from Tulum in October. And then in December, she hosted she hosted the most amazing virtual experience, the Highest and Best Me. Do you want to tell her a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm just running out the door, so I have like a couple of minutes, but yeah, I was really like called in Tulum to do something totally out of my comfort zone, but it was like connecting women with the people and the resources that have helped me. And so I threw together this conference in like, what was it, 30 days? And like all that, taking the inspired action every day. That was really a big part of my being able to accomplish that. So, but yeah, that I encourage, and it sounds like that's what, I didn't catch her name.
Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
I would love to connect with you and talk to you more about curating that space, and helping all of us build that community is so important.
Absolutely. And you're in Montana, aren't you, Cassie?
I am. Yep.
So am I.
Awesome. Oh, really? Where are you?
So cool. Where are you at, Corey? I can't remember.
Western side, Trout Creek, tiny town.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, let's connect off the call. And one other thing before I hop off here, this was amazing. Thank you so much. Crystal, I am on a similar journey with the business side of things, with my real estate business. And I'm going to forward you an email. There's a guy here in Helena that is the master of creating sellable businesses. So I'll connect you with him.
Look at that. Okay, thank you, Cass. I appreciate you. I love you. So I just want to say to everybody that's on this call, 2 dreams were spoken out loud, and instantly people showed up to be like, oh, hey, I have resources for that. And if you think about so Corey, if you think about Cassie's event that she did, she not only brought the viewers together, but she curated this whole list of amazing practitioners. Megan was one of them. I know Crystal was an attendee, Jen was an attendee, but and it just all came together. Of course there was work, but so gracefully and with ease. And I know the same thing can happen for you, especially staying connected in community, asking for the help that you need. It's definitely going to come together even more beautifully and magically than you could ever imagine. So I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share? I want to give everybody an opportunity because I have a little bit of time, but again, if you do need to go, no big deal.
I'll share what I wrote.
Yeah.
Hello. This was awesome, by the way. Thank you for hosting this. I really needed this. I really envision myself just waking up fully purposeful and aligned in my true self and really embodying what has helped me reach some of my weight loss goals and really just direct my health and wellness in the right position, and to be able to build a team and help other women reach their highest confident self, whether it's maintaining weight or weight loss or whatever it is. A big thing that I'm into is CBD as well, but I've learned that incorporating both, I've seen my health and wellness, my pain, my anxiety just so much better. So I just really want to build a team this year and just help as many people as I can.
Awesome. Congratulations. What do you think your first step is that you want to take? And what is your foundation? Could you tell us about your foundation that you have that's really going to help you?
That's a good question.
Strong?
That's a good question. Really showing up every day just as myself, showing my journey. And that's kind of where I've started, is just showing up and sharing my journey with as many people as I can. Kind of where I started, where I'm at, and where I plan on going. But that's a good question. I don't know if I can really describe my true foundation.
I think that could be something really, really helpful for you, because then you have something so firm to stand on. You have a fierce launching off point, right? And so many people forget that really fierce launching off point. And when we don't have that, what happens is then we start white knuckling. We start controlling, and we're no longer able to manifest with ease and flow, is because we're just grasping, going for all the external validation versus having that point so that you can show up authentically. So that the work that you're doing is so aligned and so in flow. For me, some of my foundational things is one, I already shared, I build my schedule in a way where I never have to be rushed, which also means that often I do have to say no to things, or not right now, and it has to be later. I use my deepest priorities and goals and dreams for the year as that mark if I'm going to say yes or no. And I want to be really great and exceptional at everything. I'm going to fiercely do it. And that means that I can no longer say yes to everything, even if I can do it. It doesn't mean I should be doing it. So just some of like those foundational things, and then also like the health things every day that you're doing, keep those up, because once you start first getting that level of success, then it's really easy to let some of that slide. And when you let that slide, then what's going to happen is that your body can't keep up with the calling anymore. So I would encourage you to like really get those foundational pieces just thought through, because you probably have them, and just make sure that you're hitting them every day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Yes, Megan.
I just really want to keep continuing to build my community so I can impact more lives, and in whatever way that is. I think more retreats and more local support in the Valley. I really see doing a lot with breath work and nervous system regulation in this area. So I saw a space being created. I saw myself like dancing and floating around there, still calling in that space. So thank you for those visualization practices to let me be in it.
I love that. What would you want your space to, like, what would it look like? Like, tell us about it a little bit. Like, what would it entail?
It's big. It's not too big, but has like some warm lights. It will have some ice baths and sauna, and this like dome encapsulated area for us to go and have like sound baths and breath work and different workshops, and just really build supportive community in the area.
I love that so much for you. It's so needed. And congratulations to you and the community that you have built around your breathwork practice and the collaborations and the lives that you've been able to impact this year. It's just been huge. And it's been so fun watching that. So I'm excited for the upcoming year for you. And now that you said that, I'm going to connect you on Instagram to Kevin, the sound bath gentleman that I met in Bend too. So it'd be cool to do like a collab or something with him.
I was just looking over his email. Thank you so much for the guidance over this year. That's been a huge part of what I reflected on as well. So thank you.
Crystal said she already has a membership subscription to your space, and it's easy to make this space to have that happen. And
I think I might be making it for Crystal specifically. So I'm sure.
Well, and that's what friends do too. You know, they pay like full price for their thing and their business, and be a patron of each other. So let's see, anybody else want to share, or just like last words? Just keep it open. Yes, Jen.
I just wanted to share that I was on Cassie's event and I saw you, Megan, and I listened to the breathwork, and I afterwards I found one of the signs that I was looking for before, but after your breathwork I saw my ladybug sign, and it was just so beautiful, and I shared it with Carmen, and I just wanted to tell you thank you. And Cassie as well.
Thank you for sharing that. It's those things that keep me going. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen. And this is why community is so, so important. And this is like why I do the work that we're doing. And so the last thing I want to share with you, if you just get like knocked out of alignment at all, it's just going back to that vision that you have written down, because it should be written down for yourself. And the vision could be simple. It could be like 3 sentences. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think that we try to make things so complicated, but going back to the vision and sitting in the morning and just asking yourself, if I were to live today without fear and doubt, what would the highest version of myself do? So if just for today, if I were to live without fear and doubt, what would the highest version of myself do? And we want to get specific, like real fucking specific, because it's when we're up here and we're not actually digging deep enough. Like if we're saying like, I want to be healthy. Okay, that's too general. We need to get real specific. right? Like I am going to make sure that after work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to go swimming for 1 hour. And then when I get home, I'm going to ask for 30 minutes for a transition ritual for myself so that I can show up fully for my husband. Thanks, Jen, by the way. And like, it's really specific, right? So that would be if my relationship with my husband was my biggest priority, and like a goal for working on that for the new year, like deepening a more meaningful relationship with my husband. Well, I know that I need to take care of myself and set the right boundaries and ask for what I need so I can show up, right? And so it's getting really, really specific. And if you just repeat that each and every day, you declare those things done over your life, because what that's doing is that's reprogramming your subconscious. It's building belief in yourself. It's sending it out to the universe, to God, knowing in full faith that it is going to come to you. It's not always going to be at your timing, but it's going to come to you. It may look a little different, but it's going to come to you. And most of the time, even better than you ever imagined, if you're able to let go of control a little bit. So I think that that's going to be just huge. If I were to live today without any fear or any self-doubt, what would the highest version of myself do? And just repeat it every day. And the thing is we always think it needs to be like some grandiose thing, but it could be simple. It could be like, today I'm going to pay attention to my thoughts. I'm going to keep track of them because I've been feeling a little down lately. So maybe I'm not being aware of my thoughts that are on repeat, and I need to start reframing them again, because maybe I've lost practice of that. So that I can show up as my highest and best, so that I can, like sell my business or whatever your goal is, but it often comes back to like the mirror on ourself. If we get knocked out of alignment, sort of going back to some of those foundational things and making sure that we're doing them so we can do the big things. Because if we don't have the foundation, then the big things will be scary. And then we'll allow ourselves to do things like procrastination and busy work and perfectionism that hold us back. So cool. Well, I'm excited to connect with you more in 2023. I wish all of you a happy new year. And for all of you that are on the call, just so you know, we are going to be doing within the permission slip community. I did a survey. What do you want in January? And everybody's like, I want to do a sugar detox. So we're going to do a sugar detox challenge in January. So January, like 21 days, starting on January 9th. So you'll see that in the Facebook group, and you'll get an email about it too. So that should be pretty fun. But love to you all. And you know how to get a hold of me. So message me, share your successes and your wins and all the things. I want to hear about that. Thank you. Bye.